Hi there, this is Jacob Nash, and this is a review of Module 13. I didn't see that. What does that mean? Well, we'll see in a minute. Okay, what is the corpus callosum? This is a thing that separates the two hemispheres of the brain. Remember, we learned about that in Module 12. There are two hemispheres. They're separated by this thing. Brain split. Why the heck would someone chop someone's brain in half? You might think they couldn't survive. That's not true. But why would they do that? Well, seizures are caused by communications between the hemispheres. There's things going back and forth, left, right, left, right, left, right. If you cut the brain in half, then it's like, too bad, can't do that anymore. And it helps lower seizures. This is just like a last resort that they would want to do. Sometimes people can have many, many seizures in one day. That's a terrible thing that some people have to deal with. And this is just a better lifestyle for them, to give them sort of like a disability rather than them to live with so many seizures in a day. Now, let's think about, are there any downsides to this? Well, yes. Here's what happens if your brain gets chopped in half. Well, then they can't communicate. So do you remember how the different hemispheres of the brain do different things? Well, here's what they do. The left one controls speaking and calculating. The right one is for perceptual tasks. That's like attention, memory, reasoning, problem solving. It includes pointing. You might think, huh? Well, look at this. So someone one time had their brain chopped in half. And when they chopped them in half, they chopped them in half by the corpus callosum. They don't do it the other way, or that would not be good. So the person that had their brain chopped in half, they showed them a piece of paper that had the word heart on it, but it was slightly separated into he and art. When the person was asked to say what they saw, they said, I saw the word art. But then when they were given a piece of paper that had the words he and art listed on them horizontally, so art was below he, they pointed with their left hand at he. So look. Tell me what word you see. Art. Point to what word you saw. Hey, I didn't see that. So now you know what I meant when I said now you don't see that. Or I didn't see that. That's what I meant to say. So notice that his left hand pointed at it. It was actually a woman, but sorry, I can't be a woman. Anyways, so when that happens, your brain can't communicate. So the left, think about it. Art, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I apologize if I didn't. But each side of your brain, each eye sees what it sees, goes to the opposite side of the brain. So put your hands on your eyes like in a circular thing, like you're giving yourself glasses. So the left eye, whatever it sees, goes to the right side of the brain. The right eye, what it sees, goes to the left side of the brain. So the left side of the brain controls speaking. I already said that. Well, when they see art with their right eye, that goes to the left side of their brain. That's why they were able to say that. But they saw he with their left eye, which went to their right side of the brain. That's why they were able to point at it, because their right side of the brain was doing that and their left eye saw it. So when people have their brain split, sometimes their left hand does something that they didn't realize that they were going to do. So for example, one person that had that, with their right hand, they put something into a shopping cart. With their left hand, they took it out and put it back on the shelf. And they're like, hey, stop that. And then they did it again. It did it again. So it's like their left hand did something that they didn't want to do. So that's kind of weird. Okay, so let's think about what hemispheres do you use in your brain, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. Unfortunately, I'm not going to say ambidextrous because I'm not aware of that, and that's not in the course guidelines. But see this bar graph? 89% of people approximately are right-handed, 10% are left-handed, 1 are ambidextrous. I fall in this 10%, and strangely enough, I am the second oldest out of 7 siblings. Kids number 2, 4, 6, and 7. I'm number 2. 2, 4, 6, and 7 are left-handed in my family, including my mother is left-handed also, which just seems like that's strange because if 10% of people are left-handed, then how is that the case? Well, we don't really know that much about what can cause someone to be left-handed or right-handed at this point. I'd like to know, but it is kind of strange. For me, I use my left hand for most things, but if I was to play the guitar, I would play it left-handed. I would not go like Jimi Hendrix style. I don't like play the guitar well. I've tried to play it, and anytime I do, I would play a right-handed one. I do play the violin, and obviously, I guess there could be left-handed violins, but most of them are the same way. So when I learned how to play the violin, my left hand is used to playing the notes. That's why I would play a right-handed guitar. I also would golf right-handed if I were to golf. But everything else I do with my left hand, my right hand just feels weak. If you might notice, if you're right-handed or if you're left-handed, whatever side of the body that you don't use, it just kind of seems a little bit weaker. I wouldn't really kick something with my right hand, or with my right foot, I meant. It just seems weaker, my right side of my body. I feel stronger on my left side. But anyways, if you are right-handed, you mostly use your left side of your brain. It's opposite. If you're left-handed like me, we mostly use our right sides of our brain, but sometimes we can use our left side of the brain or both. So it kind of depends, but I think in most cases, it's the right side of the brain. But it's not so cut and dry. You need to make sure you know that it's not like definite, like it's not always what it's like. That's pretty weird. I'm looking out my window and I see like a miniature truck. Looks like it's from like the 1940s. Okay, whatever. Let me stay on task here. Consciousness. This is our awareness of ourselves and our environment. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? But if you know, when we talk about psychology, when we're talking about unconscious, we're not talking about someone hit you in the head with a baseball bat and you wake up in like a bed a second later or something. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about things that just happen without you thinking about them or trying to do them. That's what unconscious is in psychology. Cognitive neuroscience. So this is sort of review from module 1 or something. I don't remember which module. I think 1. But cognitive neuroscience, this is the study of cognition. And if you remember, cognition is thinking memory. You should be reviewing all of your modules. So if you want a review of the other modules, please watch my other videos that I've made. Put them on 2x speed because I feel like you can still tell what I'm saying. So for example, that guy was like, let's study. And then he's like, Wundt is the father of psychology. So, okay, dual processing. This is a little bit of a complex thing, but it's important. This is the idea that information is processed on separate conscious and unconscious tracks. So see this railroad? This is in Ashland, Virginia. I took this picture in 2020. There are 2 train tracks here. Just imagine that there are different tracks. So it's basically the way that we process things. Dual, what does that sound like? That sounds like 2, doesn't it? There's separate ways that things are processed. Now, the specifics of that, you don't have to know at this point, but you just need to know that that's how we process things. 2 tracks are the visual perception tract. This is for thinking and planning. The visual action track, that's for guiding movements. Question, oh, only one today? Okay, we're fine with that, right? Why would neurosurgeons cut the corpus callosum? They cut the corpus callosum to stop interaction between the two hemispheres of the brain, such as with seizures, which helps to stop them. So if you notice the modules 13, 14, and 15 are a little bit lengthy in the textbook, but there's not that, some of the things are kind of just like him rambling. That's why I make these, because there's not, you don't have to know everything that it talks about. You mostly just need to usually know the bolded words, like, and just how things relate, sort of. I mean, or the italicized words. So a lot of times the other stuff is not as important, but sometimes it is. But anyways, thanks for watching.